Hey there. So, what we're going to do right now is go through your investigative report, really highlighting on things that work really well and things that you might want to revise in case you are interested in publishing this somewhere else, or if you just want to, work on this some more for uh, your own research or for maybe even another class. So you are really focused on recess in a number of ways, but recess specifically. So I wanted to commend you on sort of what I call having like a John Oliver kind of voice. Not John Oliver in the sense where it's, hilarious. I don't think that was your goal here, but John Oliver in the sense that you really, like from the beginning, form this kind of intimate relationship with your reader. So much so that you use pronouns like us and you, which normally I wouldn't really want. And yet here it sort of works to connect with the reader. So you start with children in NYC spend approximately 7 hours sitting in a classroom, overwhelmed by state mandated curriculum and with little room for active play. I think this is a phenomenal lead. In fact, this is one of the strongest leads in class, and it has everything to do with how much you get in such a limited amount of space. And then you go to there is something missing in the schedule, recess. You don't want the semicolon here. You probably want a dash or a colon. A semicolon is more for two specific independent thoughts. Many of us may still remember those precious minutes of freedom in the schoolyard where we were given the privilege to discover the world through our hands. So, again, very clear lead, intimate relationship with the reader, and for that reason, I think this is a strength of your entire paper. Then we go to you talk about a discovery you made about the No Child Left Behind Act really being the culprit for lack of recess. And then after that paragraph, we have this where you talk about standards, and then you talk about testing. And then you go to the assessment between 2003 and 2015 that shows New York State reading scores above the nation's scores. New York State reading scores are still well below proficient level. Um, Average test reading scores was 223, while a proficient score is 240 and above. I'm not sure why this paragraph is here. I think what you're trying to show is if we got rid of recess to make our students smarter, it's not working. But that needs to be clarified with a discovery sentence, the same as you did in the paragraph before, where you say the history or tracing back, it seems like recess really became an issue once the No Child Left Behind Act was passed. So here again, I need a clear discovery statement. Otherwise, this feels really confusing and convoluted. In fact, I think if you're interested in talking about how, despite no recess, students are still not proficient, then some of your sentences here might even be condensed and really start with the nation's report card. Then we have what follows. You start off with there is an alarming rate of diseases and disorders that affect elementary school age children physically and cognitively. So for me, I was then confused. I felt like what you were trying to talk about is the impact recess has on children. Here, though, you're talking in a very general way about diseases and disorders, but you don't, for me, link up the diseases and disorders with recess. And I think that in your presentation, at least, was something that you discovered. And so I wanted that to be more at the forefront of this paragraph and for you to use all of the stats about anxiety and obesity to support the discovery that the lack of recess has led to increase in diseases and disorders. Then you write about, and this was for me really fascinating, but remember, be careful of proper nouns, where you talk about how, New York City kids are then given the opportunity to play, but they don't know how to play. While this is super, super interesting, I wanted you to contextualize it within your report. Why is this important for readers to know? Are you saying that play is important because it's not something that's innate? In other words, we need to teach our children how to play. For me, that was what was so fascinating about this. And what I was thinking about is, oh, so part of the problem with eliminating play is that they forget how to play or they no longer know how to play, which can be a huge problem, not just in school, but outside of school. So I wanted you to really clarify. And you'll notice several of the issues I'm pointing to have to do with a lack of discovery sentences. And then this is really my final point. Your APA needs a bit of work. The reference page, it should just really say references and there should be no blue hyperlinks. Some of your in-text citations, you put the year in the middle of the author or you put the year in the middle of a title. And really, if you have a year for APA, it should come after the last name or after the full title, and you're only using the full title of something if there's no author. And then the running head should be capitalized and it should be the title of your report. It shouldn't be investigative report. So those are just a couple of APA things that I noticed. So overall, the strengths, you know the crap out of Recess. It's clear that you know the history from beginning to now, so that was great. You integrated so many of your sources in the same paragraph and you integrated them quite well. And you also made several really great discoveries. What you need to improve upon is just remembering that all of your discoveries need to be clear and need to really address the lead in the very beginning. And then finally, something I wanted you to consider is what really are you interested in, or what really do you feel you uncovered through this investigative report? Because I know during our conferences we talked about how recess or lack of recess has led to all of these problems. But for me, when I was reading some of this, I feel like what you were talking about is sort of like a fork in the road that we're at right now with recess, and how there's something that is happening in New York City with recess that can really assist in getting reading and math proficiencies up. So that was one thing that I wondered, are you interested in just the health and you know mental and physical health of children, or are you interested in uncovering something else? Um, and this is just a side note, but once you figure out what you're really trying, what specific thing you're trying to uncover about recess, I wonder if the paragraph about Finland might go away. Or another, I think it might even just be condensed because right now it feels like it works because you might be trying to talk about just recess and how it can improve the physical and mental health of children. But if your investigative question changes a little or shifts a little bit, I'm not sure that Finland will have as much of a um, page space as it does. So that's just something to be mindful of. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on this page or email me. If not, then I will see you once spring break ends on Monday. Enjoy the rest of your break, and I will see you soon.